Alright, here we are. I did say I would do this if even one person asked for it, and uh, here I am doing it. I am remaking this video because the audio was trash, and so now I'm going to make it less trash. So this is just to serve as a very basic tutorial for how the game works and how to play. So I'm not going to get into detailed strategies. I'm not even going to get into like medium detailed strategies. I'm going to tell you how to play the game because there's really no tutorial for it. So maybe this can help out. And this time, my recording isn't going to be ass, hopefully. So here's how the main screen looks for me. Almost none of my time has ever been in like the campaign. I don't even play it. I don't care. You're going to make a new game. You're going to pick how big you want the map to be. This has a direct correlation with how long this game is going to take. Smaller maps are pretty quick. Medium, it's going to take you a couple hours probably. And then if you have the free time to play through like an immense or gigantic map in a day, hey, kudos to you. And to future you, congratulations when you eventually graduate high school, because nobody else has that much free time. Or it's a weekend, in which case, hey. So, map size, tiny. These are all just a bunch of adjustable things. I'm not going to really... I mean, they are exactly what they say they are. Okay, here are how many planets will exist, and how good they are. It's exactly what they say they are. Anomalies are just random things that you can find that will give you some small random benefit, and those are nice sometimes. Asteroids you can mine and give you more production on your stuff. Minor races, these exist, and this is the tech rate. We're going to very fast so I can show you stuff quicker. Okay, and we're going for a tiny map to get through this faster. So I'm gonna play not like a bunch of full games, but just enough so you get the idea of how it works. So we're going to talk about all of these. There are 5 ways to win. These are all optional. You can mess with this if you like. So there are 5 ways to win. You can research a specific technology way deep in the tech tree. You can become allies with every other player, not counting the minor races. You can have a lot of influence on the map, which is just your border size, or you can ascend to a new race or type of some level of existence, something like that. Cool. And I'll show you how all that stuff works. So there's a bunch of different races that you can play. All these abilities do a bunch of different stuff. The starting stats are different for everybody. My favorite ones are these 3, depending on how I want to play. So like these guys are good at influence victories. These guys are good at the default win condition, which is kill everybody else. These guys are good at research victories. If you're going to go for diplomacy, you can do that with pretty much anybody. I wouldn't recommend it with these guys or any of the super warlike races. I wouldn't worry about a diplomacy victory. No one's going to like you. I'm so sorry. No one's coming to that birthday party. But I'll play these guys just real quick. So every race has a super ability. They're all different. They all do different things. And there's a bunch of abilities that affect how the game plays out for you. These affect the game in different ways. When you're setting up your Civ here, you can reset these. This box doesn't automatically repopulate. You have to toggle one of these, and now it comes back. So you can set up your race to kind of tweak it in whatever direction you want. I play this race pretty much the same way every time, but I take creativity and luck on every single civilization ever, and then and do here. I think big influence and then big diplomacy. Oh, whoops. Oh, do I not have enough for that? Okay, let's do less big influence and pretty big diplomacy. And then some of that, sure, and some of that doesn't really matter. So then you pick a political party. There will be elections every now and then. If your approval is high enough, you'll win the election. That's all it is. And if you lose the election, you lose whatever set of benefits you've got here that you pick at the beginning. They all say espionage minus 25. I don't know why that's in there, but whatever. So since I'm these guys, I'm going for an influence diplomacy win, and you can customize how they look if you care. I think I have, if I remember right, maybe. And we're gonna pick these guys, and we're gonna put them on like super easy mode. There's 12 levels of difficulty. The first few are pretty free wins until you get about to. If you get about to challenging, that's a good level for like beginners to play against once they get a hang of how to play. And then tough is a good challenge. You can still play kind of bad here and win, but it's not like as free anymore. Painful, you actually have to be playing well to win here. Let's see. I would say for crippling, it's going to be really hard, like kind of unfair, to be honest. This is about the highest difficulty I can even like win on, to be honest. I've won one game on masochistic ever by doing something kind of cheesy, and I still barely won. These last two, I don't even know, man. It might not be real to win on these, but we'll start real easy. So let's just get into how all this stuff works. 8 minutes into the video, let's just get into it. So this screen will come up automatically. We'll come back here in a second. And this one too. Okay. This is the whole galaxy, or at least what we're going to play inside for this game. It's made up of a bunch of squares. So your ships move along these squares. I have the grid lines turned on. If you press escape, a menu comes up and you can mess with a bunch of stuff. But the grid lines make it easier for me to tell what's doing what. So I have, and if you zoom out far enough, the ships look a little differently, so you can get used to kind of zooming out and just seeing what the different ships do. So when you start, you get your flagship for whatever race you happen to be playing. I am the Kryn. If you're new to the game, all you want to do, you want to click this button that says automate, and it will walk around collecting all these anomalies automatically. It'll do the pathfinding by itself, and it's just going to go grab a bunch of stuff. What's a civilization graveyard? We'll find out next turn. This is your space miner. See all these little asteroids? It's going to go to those and build a little mine on those, and those mines will beam a production capacity somehow to a world nearby. Not sure exactly the math of how that works, but whatever. Automate that guy too. And these are colony ships. So here's a star. There's a bunch of planets around it. The class of that planet tells you how many usable tiles are on that planet. So here's a class 10, my little home world. It's got 10 tiles available at the moment. Now, if you're counting the green tiles, you see there's only 8, but that's because it's already got 2 things built on it by default. Your home world automatically does that. So it comes with a starport. That's free on your very first planet that you start with. And also, you get your civilization capital, which has a bunch of stuff. So it gets you some production, some research. Food input gives you higher max population. Morale makes people happier. Economics, all this stuff. So we're not going to get into the details of what every single ability is. If you want to look at how many different ability stats there are this many. And those are just the ones that I have a bonus to at the moment. There's a lot. I'm not going to get into all of them right now. If, you know what, let me know. Anybody watching through this video actually wants like more detail, I'll get into more detail. I know way too much about this game. I will go fucking hard. But if you don't, then okay. So, at the beginning of the game, you're gonna want to see on this mini map here, you can toggle all this stuff off and have your mini map show almost nothing. It's just what information you want to show up here. You want the stars to show up. You want the little anomalies you found to show up. You want asteroids to show up. What do you want to look at? You want to look at population. I like to look at borders. That just gives me a general idea of, it just helps just to know where people are and where they've colonized. I think it helps. That plus planets. This is how I like the map to be set up. You can do whatever you want. You want the ships visible? You sure? That'll get crowded. Well, hey, whatever you want to do. This is good to toggle on and off every now and then just to take a look at where stuff is. There's a mini map. And each civilization is color-coded, by the way. So even if this was random, I could tell who this was. You can zoom in, zoom out, whatever. Okay, there's a bunch of graphs here for you to look at. They're empty now because the game hasn't really started. We're on like turn 0, but that's fine. Okay, so turn 1. Here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to take this colony ship and colonize a planet with it. Okay? And the way you do that is see how you can move the ship around. You can by right-clicking. You go ahead and right-click a planet somewhere. Or you can right-click on the mini-map somewhere, and it'll go that way. See where I clicked on the mini-map was about here. Anyway, now that all the ships have been given something to do, let's talk about research for a second. What are we doing right now? Well, all kinds of technologies exist. This is the whole tech tree. It's a lot. And the tech tree is color coded too. There's yellow, and there's blue, and there's orange and red. You can't see it now, but there's some green stuff in here. There's some pink stuff down the line over this way. There's plenty of stuff. Okay. So the basics of it is that red gets you into military stuff. Orange gets you into like infrastructure type stuff, building up your economy, your capacity to make stuff. This is teal. There's a different shade of blue that's like research-based stuff. And yellow is for talking to other people. And green is, I mean, there's a bunch of colors, but you'll get a feel for it. So I'm going to show you the influence victory first, and then we'll get into the conquest victory. And along the way, I will explain how the tech victory and the ascension and the diplomacy wins all go. So we're going to go ahead and research that. Now, the most important thing is these planets. This is the source of all your power in the game. More planets is a good thing. You want more stuff. So these little green tiles, if you click on one, it'll show you all the stuff you can put there. So you click on a building, it'll describe what it does. About how long it'll take. A week is 1 turn, by the way. So it'll tell you how long it takes to build that, the maintenance costs, and what it does for your planet. So if you want to make a lot of research, you build a bunch of research guys. You want to make some money, you build some of these. You want to boost your production, you build some factories. It's pretty straightforward. Now, this is good to have. See this little icon on there? That little blue water droplet looking thing? That's a bonus to the tile. Most tiles don't have anything on there, but this one says little approval bonus, which means that if you put something there that boosts morale, it gets a 100% bonus. Now, I'm not going to put this there. I'm actually just going to build a bunch of factories real quick. Now, note that these take 7 weeks right now. We're going to go over here and we're going to turn production from 2/3 up to 100%. Now, watch our net income. That costs money. But if we look at it now it's 5 weeks. How about that? So, we're going to build a bunch of factories, and that's going to be great. In the meantime, let's build another colony ship. It's going to take a while, but that's okay. That's okay. And when you're ready to move to the next turn, you just click next turn. Now our borders are established. There are no borders on turn 0. So, this is a resource. We will get to that in a bit. You know what? We're going to kind of play through this game how I would actually play through this game. We're going to keep doing technologies. I'm just going to let this sort of play through. I'm going to let the technology do its own thing. Any planets here? You can click on a star, by the way, and see how many habitable planets there are. There's a class 4 here, but look, a class 10. That's pretty good. Let me get that. And in the meanwhile, our little flagship is going around collecting everything. Okay. You see our asteroid miner is walking around. It'll tell you when buildings get built. You can turn those off. And our little asteroid miner is walking around collecting all the mines. And boom, new planet. You can name it whatever you want. I don't care. And look at this. It's a class 10 planet. This is not our original planet. It does not come with a free starport. You have to put one there manually if you want. Otherwise, it comes with an initial colony who gets maintenance, industry, and research. So this one, let's make this a research colony. I like to just double click, although you can click and then hit the build button as well. Okay. And look, another thing got done. 38 weeks. That's going to take a minute. Okay. Now I believe I have all the victory types turned on, so if you've met more people, they'll show up here. Another factory is done. Now, since we're just playing on super beginner mode, not much is going to happen. Okay, I made a ship. And if you click on this button, left click, it'll zoom right over to where that ship got made. Now I'm going to click this button here and pick to launch it this way. And I'm going to launch that ship I just made. I'm going to tell it to go get this planet. You're going to want more planets. Now, notice we're down to 11 weeks now. That's because we made some factories. And the more factories I have, the more industry I've got, and the faster these get cranked out. So we're just going to keep doing it. Look, we've met another civilization. You can't talk to them yet. You don't speak their language. You must have crossed paths with one of their ships at some point. There they are. Okay. Look, another planet. We'll just ignore that for now. And look, they've colonized their 2 planets, and they've made a little scout ship, as you see. Now you'll notice this number. That's how much money you've got. I'm getting 233 money per turn, and I'm losing 97 money per turn, which, if you do the math, you end up with plus 136 per turn. Cool. If you want more details on where that comes from, you click this button. It gives you a whole breakdown on all your stuff. Taxes is based on this. You can slide this up and get more money from taxes, but it'll make your approval go down after you get to a certain point. Too little approval, you'll start losing elections, and you might lose those Civ-specific bonuses. And if your approval on any specific planet gets too low, population stops growing. Anyway, money can be spent on buying stuff. So like if I want this lab right now, I can just buy it for money. Or, I'll take this other big planet. Or if I want something built on, or if I want like to buy a ship right now, I can buy, and ships are kind of expensive, I can just buy a ship. This is why I take creativity, because every now and then you'll randomly just completely finish the technology you're on, which is nice and speeds things along. You'll just randomly auto-complete the technology. A green thing will come up when there's nothing left to build on there. Now, this is exactly what we were making constructor for. So, this way again. So if you right-click, the ship just comes right out. Now, constructors, actually, I'll do it this way. I need to get there in 1 turn, or I'd like to, and I can. So constructors are good for getting these little resources. So if you look at all these abilities you have, I've got creativity in there, I've got espionage, I've got research, minus 15%, because I'm the Kryn. Not to get into lore, but they're more spies than researchers. So I'm at minus 15% research. But if I take this little research resource, let's take a look at this thing. Plus 5 to research. Wow. Look at that. We're only at minus 10 now. And if I take another constructor and throw it on, see there's 1 module available, I can be impatient and throw another constructor on there, and it'll ask me, do you want to put something else on the starbase? And you say yes, and I want to mine a little harder. Now I can't do any more yet. You can through researching some technologies, you can unlock the ability to throw more constructors on these things. But look at it now. It's a plus 10 now, because the base is 5, and then I have something else I put on there for 5 more. So if we go back here, research is only to minus 5 now. Makes sense. So, my miner has wandered off all the way over there. So, the reason I brought that up, constructors in general. Oh, I got that planet done. I'll care about this later. Ooh, this is a bonus to manufacturing, so it's really useful to put something like a factory there, because the factories will get bonuses. And my constructor is done. So, there are 5 win conditions that exist. One of them is ascension. And the way you do that is you take a constructor and you put it on an ascension crystal. Getting there. Now it's not you just touch it and you win. That'd be a bit silly. So what actually happens is I'll do a second one, why not? And then I'll have this get back to doing colony ships. So what actually happens is you go build a starbase there. And look, it went from 1,000 down to 999. So every turn, if you have a star base on an ascension crystal, you make an ascension star base. And every turn, it will give you like 1 unit of like ascension victory, kind of. You need 1,000 of them to win. So you can hold this for 1,000 turns, or you can hold 2 of them for 500 turns. That's total, by the way. It doesn't have to be a 1,000 in a row. You're just accumulating this stuff as you go. You accrue more and more of these victory things as you go. So like even if he built some starship and came and blew up my little base here, I could put a new one there and it would resume the countdown right where it was. Okay. And oh, creativity again. Boom. Okay. So there are 5 win conditions. I talked about one. That's how you do the Ascension victory. You build Ascension star bases on those little crystals, which look like this. Well, which look like this. Anyway. So, another type of win that I'm not going to demonstrate, but I'll explain how it works is way at the end of the tech tree, all the way at the end of the blue stuff, you will see something that says technology victory. If technology victory is enabled, when you research technology victory, you win the game with a technology victory. Pretty straightforward. Thing is, it takes a long time to get through all that. Notice all these smaller techs are taking just a few weeks. This one takes 5. This one takes 54. Now look at all the stuff it would give me. This would be game winning. Or if you have technology victory enabled, it's game winning on the spot. But you can, and we'll do this, you can right click any of these technologies to see how long it takes to build. Build, research. So this one is 9 TP, technology points. This one is 89 TP. And technology victory way at the end is about 18,000. So you're going to need a lot of technology to get there. You should not go for that super early. You should focus on not dying. Now, what are these TP? Good question. These come from your planets. In every turn, all little beakers you see here, all of these go towards the TP of whatever you're researching at the time. So 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6, and those get shown here. Research, 22. It's actually showing this as the expense because each of those costs 1 per turn. In fact, all of this costs 1 per turn. So if we're over here, excuse me, this is spending 4 per turn on military stuff, which is building a starport, even though we don't have one. Yes, still. 4 on building buildings, and 6 on doing research. So that's 14 per turn. On this, how did we get to 26? Well, 10 more from this, and, well, 2 more from each of these, which is 14, because this is 24. So, you know what? Math is a bit wonky, but it's fine. And actually, I'm going to quick save because I want to escape. Quick save. I want to show you more than one type of win real quick, and I don't feel like playing multiple games. So we're going to go ahead and do a border push victory, also known as an influence victory real quick. So this is the border between us and them. That comes from the influence of the planets nearby. This is a small planet, it's 9. The capital planets always have a lot. 66. I can't see theirs because that requires some spying. We're not going to get into that in this video. That's a topic for something else. But there are buildings that can increase your influence on the planet, like this, 20% more, or 20% more, or this one, which I'm going to build on the morale space, 30% more and extra morale, or this building, 200% more. Wild. And so that is going to be some border push. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy that now. And watch what happens to the borders when I do that. The borders don't always update like on the next turn. It's sort of annoying that way. But every time you grab a new starbase, the borders will update. I don't know why. Sometimes the borders just need a little poke to move. So, mind you, my influence went from 66 to 123. So, that is what the map looks like now. Good gorge. So, let's go ahead and we'll buy this one too. 139. And now 145 influence and colony ship. And nothing looks amazing. Yellow stars often have planets that are usable. Not that one. Okay, grab that. You can tell ballpark how good a planet is by how many rings it has. Kind of. Well, look at this, an influence resource, and this is a morale resource. So, how much do you need to, oh, I didn't get that. We'll do this for more influence. This one's all done. Cool. So, how much galactic influence do you need to actually win the game? Well, it's based, not really based on map size. It's more you need a percentage. So, you can go to victory conditions and look at influence victory. 75% of the galaxy is how much you need. Now, you can't do this before the year 2228. We're almost there. You start at the beginning of 2227, so that's not long off. Every turn is a week. Again, every turn is a week. A little bit more influence, and we'll do this so we can talk to these people. Why not? Okay. Now, each month has 4 weeks in it, so we're not going to move to, you always go the 1st, then the 8th, then the 15th, then the 22nd, and then straight to the 1st of the next month. So, when we click next turn, ooh, we're going to move straight to the 1st of December. Got it? Ooh, more influence. And look, a little research bonus. How about that? Okay. these borders. Yeah, that's the Kryn, man. I'm not even really pushing that hard yet. I don't even have a capital. I haven't moved my governments around. I haven't started building influence star bases. Okay. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay. So, it is now 22-28, which means the game now checks for cultural dominance, and this will pop up. So if you've got 75% of the galaxy, you'll be winning. And you'll hold that for 10 weeks, and you will win. So I could press next turn until I win, or I could undo that and go back to my quick save. And then we'll talk about the other ways to win. Okay. So far we have talked about research victories. You go all the way technology win. We have talked about ascension victories, where you just hold these star bases for a while, which leaves three. One was influence, which I just showed you. You just control a lot of space. To do that, get a bunch of planets, get a bunch of influence, and just crowd people out of the game. That leaves two. Now, the only ones left are a diplomacy victory and a conquest victory. So how do you do a diplomacy win? Well, let's look at our foreign stats here. See this guy? Relations neutral. Okay? If we make this guy like us or dislike us, this little black bar will move around. So he can dislike us more, he can like us more. And if the bar gets way over here to the right, it'll say, you know, warm or friendly. And if it gets to relations close, as in like we're close buddies, then you can become allies with them. If if you both have a technology called alliances, which is somewhere in the yellow here. Let's see. Oh, where are you? There it is. Alliances. So, you become alliances with everybody, you win. That's it. Last one. We're not going to get into alliances super heavy. I guess we can, a quick word on how diplomacy works. If you look at the report, it'll tell you what's making them like you or dislike you. So a minus is you're attempting to ascend. Nobody likes you when you're trying to ascend. It hurts your diplomacy with everybody. It just makes the game harder. Different ethical alignment. Not going to get into that right now, but ethics are a thing in the game. There are different, like, well, choices you can make. And plus is too busy. So there are some minuses, some pluses, and that affects how things go. There's a bunch of factors that can exist. Now, last one, interstellar warfare. Do some red technologies, all right? This is where, if you look over here on the side, this is where all, like, the guns are, the lasers, the missiles, all that stuff is in here. If you come down here, all the shields are in here, your armor's in here, your missile chaff is in here. And the key one for winning a conquest victory, planetary invasion. So we're going to have to get there technology-wise, but in the meantime, I guess let's just keep playing some colony games. Why not? So we're going to go straight for planetary invasion, which is part of the reason I picked the Iconians to be our opponents, is because, well, their soldiers are terrible. Iconians are a weak people. Space militarization. This is also why I went for super fast technology, so this doesn't have to take as long. Let's grab another planet. That one. Cool. Cool. Now that I've got space weapons, I can go to planet invasion. A long technology. Oh, and thanks to creativity, which is, this is why you always take creativity, it's done already. All right. So, there are technologies beyond that that improve your soldiering, and we'll get into that in a second. But for now, the important thing is that through planetary invasion, we can now build transport ships, which you need to invade other planets. You know what? I got a bunch of money. I'll just buy one. So you launch transport ships the same way you launch other stuff. This says thousands. That's okay. So 1,000 here takes away 1 here. This is in billions. This is in millions. Weird. But if I launch it from 1,000 here, which is the default, it takes away like that. And now I'm gonna have it go over there. Kill him. Got another planet. How about that? Don't care. United Planets Council. This is just every now and then, like every year, you will all have a vote on something that will go into effect for a while. Oh, now that there's another player, all these graphs exist. Economy graph, research graph, they're doing more than us. Influence graph, industry graph, all these exist. And now I'll show you how to invade another planet. You take a transport ship and you bring it onto another person's world. There are different invasion methods with different degrees of legality. But this one's always free. See, there's a cost for this one, but it makes it easier. Well, I'm going to go ahead and attack. Now, yes, it's an active war. Now, see, soldiering 2, theirs is -5, which means I'm going to roll a little higher than them. 5 to 2. They'll lose 5,000. I'm going to lose, or did I do the math bad? Yeah, half of that, 2,500. Yeah, 5 over 2. Anyway, so we're just going to throw some more transport guys at them. And that's all we really need to do. Now, if we were going to do this the smart way, I'm going to go back to my one previous autosave, which I have set up to do every few turns. You can set that up just as a setting here. Game, autosave every 3 turns. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewind. Yes, got that planet. Got it. 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 Okay, see this planet has a little red dot? That means its influence is so much less than the stuff around it, it's considering just like flipping over to me. Which means I probably don't need to like invade it in the standard way. Whoa, why would you invade another person? I would never do that this turn until I get planetary bombardment. There we go. I'll show you why. It's because planetary bombardment's not fair. Let's see. Mass drivers is what you get. It only costs 200 money, but you get a huge bonus. So now, boom, and that's my planet. And if you have this toggled on, you steal a technology from them that you don't have. So I just got their home planet. Yes, yes, yes. Which has all this stuff on it, including some buildings that we can't build. Some that we just can't build yet. So, this seems like a good place to build a bunch of stuff. I'm going to click this to focus on building buildings quickly. And then this has what? Oh, there's no people on this one at all. I don't even have to pay to win this one. Boom. All right, let's get that transport done. And this is how a conquest victory would go. You just build a bunch of troop transports and you send them out. And then you take over other people's planets. Now, it's not always going to be this successful. Oh, they rebelled anyway. Great. I'm glad we got to see that happen. Well, this is going to be over this turn then. Launch that. Take that. Boom. Boom. Mine. Done. They've got no more planets, which means they're out of the game, which means I'm the only one left in the game. What? Oh, They still have one. Over here, you can tell by the lines from their little mining bases they built, which makes it convenient to hunt people down. I'm coming for you. I'm getting there. Another transport? Sure. Although, let's build a fighter. Now, you can't invade a planet unless you clear out all the ships in their orbit. Not all of them are going to have something like that. Oh, here's alliances, by the way. Sure. How do you know if there's a ship in orbit? Well, it'll look like this. It'll have a little shield next to that planet to indicate there's something in orbit there. Shield's gone, shield's back. Shield's gone, shield's back. Now, you'll also notice that I am up here on the military graph now. Even more importantly, you'll notice that they're not, which means that whatever is there is not going to defend against me. I don't think it matters, and I'm done talking about technology. So whatever this is probably some, yep, it's a scout ship. Not going to do anything. And if that scout ship leaves, then they just die. You can make something too, 0 weeks, because all their productivity got saved and went to me. I guess we're just going to have to wait. Unless... we're going to do something stupid just to save time. We're going to upgrade this to a colony ship, which will barely save any time at all. And now it's done. And now I have this planet, and now I'm going to immediately buy a starport, and then I'm also going to, on that starport, immediately buy... Wait, that's an empty ship. That's just something I built custom. I'm gonna build a fighter ship. Blah blah blah, bunch of stuff happening. And then look, it's about to flip anyway. But I'm gonna come up here and see they've got 2 ships, which means I'm gonna have to attack it once and twice. And now I come up here with the big thing, and but Bayday Boem, they're dead. The galaxy is mine. Ta-da! Victory screen comes up. You can check how everything went. They got more technology than me. Look how that went for you. They never even made any powerful ships that could do anything. This, and if you like charts, then here's some charts. Ta-da! Alright, you now know how to play a game. The basics. You want more in detail? I have so many more details. I've been playing this game forever. Hit me up with questions, and if not, you're hopefully feeling better about the audio now. I told you I would do it. I told you.